Currently, it seems commonplace to have strange crossovers or cameos in video games. I would say it first started when the Street Fighter franchise fought a roster of Marvel characters back in the 90s. And later, Smash Bros. Introduced characters coming from third-party franchises.
You're kidding, right? It's Mario.
And in present day, I don't think Fortnite can be topped for bizarre crossovers. It's become to the point where the zanier they are, the better. The one key difference is that Fortnite crosses over to the real world. They have Bruno Mars, Travis Scott, and now Mr. Beast. Although they are celebrities, these are real people. So in this video, I'm going to go over some real world crossovers that were poorly implemented. Smite over the years has introduced a bunch of questionable, but sometimes endearing battle passes. The RuneScape one is one of my favorites. There's one skin that made it into the game that's a little bit weird. It is the Bob Ross Sylvanas skin.
Let's start out today with a happy little painting.
Bob Ross had a resurgence back in 2016 when Twitch aired a marathon of all his The Joy of Painting episodes. Viewers loved it. It averaged about 30,000 concurrent views. The audience wanted more. They demanded a Bob Ross skin from Hi-Res Studios, the creators of Smite, and I guess it's just pretty easy to get the likeness of Bob Ross. The likeness of Bob Ross is actually owned by a company and not the family of Bob Ross. And that's why you're seeing him pop up in such odd places, like this Mountain Dew commercial. Now on the other side of the celebrity spectrum is the Smite Slipknot Season Pass. Very odd inclusion. Smite doesn't scream heavy metal to me. The band Slipknot doesn't scream free-to-play MOBA to me. Very bizarre crossover. Baffling. I mean, I guess the marketing did work. They got me talking about it. Is it a bit strange to anybody else where there's actually a chance where Bob Ross, may he rest in peace, fights Slipknot? The Street Fighter franchise is no stranger to crossovers. They versed Marvel, they versed SNK, Tekken, Tatsunoko. The list goes on and grows bigger each year. And if you chart out Ryu himself, he's battled over 1,000 different fighters. The oddest of all his opponents would have to be Norimaro. Norimaro was introduced in Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, but he was neither Marvel nor Street Fighter. So how did he weasel his way into this game? He was an original guest character based on a real-life person created by Capcom in cooperation with a Japanese comedian named Noritake. Norimaro is portrayed as a cowardly student equipped with school supplies. And he's very much portrayed as a realistic person being inserted into a video game. You can see him taking photographs, walking around, and asking characters for their autographs. The executive producer Yoshiki Okamoto really disliked this character, thinking he was incredibly uncool. But the main artist for Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter really loved the simple character design and loved working with the comedian. Executive producer didn't want Marvel to see this weird, uncool character in his game, so they made a deal. He's only in the Japanese release of the game. Okay, I understand that there's been some recent controversy on these next two. Ethan and Hila Klein were introduced as DLC in the co-op bank-robbing game Payday II. It was very divisive at the time. It drove some of the player base just up the wall. They kept on saying, these characters are out of place and have no backstory. They're just famous people. They have no reason to be in this game. Although I'm pretty sure that no one plays Payday 2 for just the lore. Other people complain that the character models were different, used a different skeleton than the other characters in Payday, making them literally out of place. But people, regardless of what's going on, are going to complain on the internet. Some were saying that they're still memes.
I feel like Shrek, and you're in my swamp. Watch out, bitch, it's evil, Ethan. Don't get Bradbury. Don't forget to subscribe, bitch. You can't take me out, I'll dab on the devil.
The voice acting was weird. They're not even trained professionals.
I care, and I kill. I care, and I kill.
But to be fair, they were self-aware. Saying from the get-go, it was very cringy. It seems nowadays, every franchise needs a go-kart or a racing-adjacent video game series, right? Crash Bandicoot has Crash Team Racing, Garfield has Garfield Kart, Sonic Team has Sonic All-Star Racing. After going through the list of playable characters within this game, I have to say Sega was out of their mind. choosing some of these. Let's just say that Team Fortress 2 has playable characters driving go-karts, and also General Winter, who's from Company of Heroes. Yeah, Company of Heroes, the RTS war game. He's driving something. One of the real-world crossovers was American entrepreneur and former auto racing driver, model, and advertising spokeswoman Danica Patrick. She is a playable character. She drives the Danicar. She co-designed this with Hot Wheels, and that's what this whole marketing thing was about. It was a tie-in between Sega and Hot Wheels, and also her, who was very popular at the time. So this was a huge crossover. Kids playing this game didn't know what this was. It's just a lady driving a Hot Wheel. But honestly, I'm more confused why Sonic needs to drive a car. Isn't he like really fast? So as we all know, Star Wars is a huge franchise with a big interconnected universe. There's a vast variety of spacecrafts and vehicles that allows characters to traverse land and space, from the Millennium Falcon to the 1968
A
Buick.
well-armored land speeder. The GN speeder is used chiefly for crowd control.
You heard me right. With each inception of the Rogue Squadron series, there's a pilotable Buick within the game. I say pilotable because you can fly this car in space. And you're going to ask yourself, what was the inspiration to implement a Buick into the Star Wars universe? When the game was being produced, Rudy Stember, who was Factor 5's sound designer, voice, and cutscene producer, just owns one. So they decided to model one and put one in the game. That's it. That's the whole story. I mean, you'd think there'd be like a bigger, more intricate story behind this, but no, that's it. I guess the bar is pretty low for coming up with secret vehicles in early 2000 games. Over the years, there were games that introduced renowned political figures, sometimes into genres that did not suit them.
It'll take a village to save you from this beating.
A good example would be the NBA Jam series. You had Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Al Gore, Obama, Prince, but now King Charles. They were all in this basketball game, but it's not really immersion breaking because they were amongst real basketball players. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility to see Charles Barkley on the court with Bill Clinton. Now, the original Black Ops had prominent political figures, but they were used in a very serious single-player campaign which took place during the era of the Cuban Missile Crisis. You had JFK, Fidel Castro, and Nixon. But Activision decided to have these leaders as playable characters in their zombie mode. So the zombie mode, you're taking on waves and waves of zombies, and I know I wanted to cover immersion-breaking games and weird games within this video, but this one actually fits pretty well. I don't know how they pulled this off. I think it's the voice lines.
Any superlative words of inspiration for our humble troops?
Do not pray for easy lives, my friends. Pray to be stronger men.
And that's all I have for this video. Comment below if I missed anything, if you know any other examples. And also, if you enjoy these videos, please remember to like and subscribe.